Hello, I'm Peggy Kimmey, and I'm going to share with you my story from Beacons in the Darkness. It's called Witnessing Strength Through Hope. I call her strong. At 18 years old, she tolerates me saying that and is beginning to own it. But when she was a tween, she hated it. I guess when you're stepping into the tumultuous teenage years and you want to rail against unfairness of it all, being told that you are strong and that you've made it through much worse than this, it takes some of the fun out of it. But that's my job. I am mom. I saw her shine during a time she has no memory of, beyond recognizing stories we tell or explanations of photos in a scrapbook created to document our adventure. In January of 2005, we celebrated Coral's third birthday with Dora the Explorer themed everything. That winter and spring, she had reoccurring colds and ear infections, not uncommon for kids that age. We were shocked in April to learn that she had a tumor slightly smaller than a chicken egg growing out of the base of her tongue and into the back of her throat. A biopsy identified an aggressive childhood cancer, rhabdomyosarcoma. Because of its growth on her tongue, it could not be removed nor reduced with an operation. Because of its size, the doctors were concerned that it was impeding her breathing, which was true. We had thought her breathing struggles were due to congestion, but in truth, that was the tumor blocking her airway. Her treatment would be 42 weeks of 3 kinds of chemotherapy. Some weeks, treatment was 1 or 2 doses in one day. Some weeks, treatment required multiple doses over 5 days. Oh, and 6 weeks of daily radiation therapy. To secure her airway until the tumor began to shrink, that was early in July, she breathed through a tracheotomy tube. When she swallowed food, the tumor sometimes got in the way and sent the food down into her windpipe. So she was not allowed to eat or drink until the tumor shrank. A feeding tube was placed into her stomach, just below and to the left of her belly button. She had a port placed under her right armpit for the chemo, other injections, blood draws, that kind of thing. She experienced many of the common side effects from the chemo: nausea, diarrhea, weakness, hair loss, and blisters on her skin and in her mouth from the radiation treatment. I offer these details not to shock you or to stir your pity, but to give you a picture of her experience. As challenging as all that was, many people have had worse experiences. Many people have survived. Many people have been inspired to do something special as a result of their experiences. So, what makes my Coral so inspiring to me? There are many definitions of character, encompassing a variety of traits, often traits that are learned over time or simply can't be tested in someone as young as 3 years old. It is some of those traits that I saw in my daughter's actions that inspire me. My feeling of inspiration didn't come overnight. I was too busy just getting through each day. Occasionally, she didn't want to go to our appointments, but mostly she just accepted the schedule as our new normal. No crying, fighting, tantrums, which I learned were a common part of other parents' lives. The nurses, technicians, and doctors are trained to put on a happy, comforting, or understanding face, especially when dealing with sick children, and to say positive things to their parents. But over and over, I heard comments about how brave and sweet and easygoing she was, and I felt they were truly happy to see her. When her name was called from the waiting room to go in for whatever type of treatment, scan, checkup, she hopped up with a smile and took the hand of the person calling her and left me to gather our stuff and follow behind. There was a difference in the faces, in the energy of the staff she interacted with. Over time, I saw that they were looking at her differently from the way they interacted with other children. They called her Sunshine, and I realized they needed her rays of hope to continue to do their challenging work, helping so many sick children every day. From the moment of diagnosis, I had that crushing question in my heart: why? The day I realized what was happening to the people she connected with as she went through treatment, including other children and their parents, that weight was lifted. What she was going through would pass. But she had a purpose in all this: to be a beacon of hope. She was the good news that the doctors shared in their meetings, preparing for the day ahead. She was the one who understood that the nurses didn't want the procedures to hurt. She was the one the other children could watch to see that there was fun to be found in this scary new environment. I couldn't have taught her to do what she did, and I wouldn't have dreamed of asking it of her. It was simply who she is, and that is inspiring to me. Our schools, places of worship, and dinner table conversations strive to instill positive character traits in our children. Often, we don't know how well these lessons took until they face challenges later in life. And so parents worry about their children's future. I don't worry as much as most. I have faith in Coral's ability to persevere in the face of challenges, act with kindness, and help others get through as well. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the other stories. Again, I'm Peggy Kimmey, Coral's mom. I am the wonderful Bill Jordan's aunt, and I wish you the best.